day to everybody watching this video. Today's lesson we are talking about the interface of the Adobe Photoshop. So many of you people have heard about Photoshop, but you've not had a feel about how it works, and then probably if you wanted to study too, you couldn't to do it. So if you're watching this video today, then this is the right channel. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about the interface of the Adobe Photoshop. So we are going to know everything about it, and then in today's lesson, as I said, we are just looking about the interface, such as creating a new blank page, looking at the menus, the options, the tools, and as well as the layers. That is the most important thing. And then also we'll be customizing our looks. So this is the interface which just greets you the moment you open Photoshop. When you have some already existing works, then they are going to be displayed over here. But in case you have nothing, then it will be very blank. You get it? But since I have some works over here, that is why it has been displayed over here for me, in case I want to work on them again. But in this lesson, we are just going to create a new document. So if you come to the left panel, we have create new and then the open. The create new is used to create a new blank document. Maybe you want to work on something from scratch. But the open is for getting our previous work and then we just working on it. So we are just going for the create. We click on it. Great. And then there is a new pop-up which provides us with the canvas we should select for our work. We have a lot of canvas, right? So these are my recent canvas I've been using. When I talk about the canvas, I'm talking about the artwork or the page I'm working on. We have photos, which it will give me the sizes of photo canvas I can be using for my design. And then we have print, and we have art, and then illusion. When it comes to print, we have letters, legal, and we have A4, A3, depending on the document size you want to be using. The art and then the illustrations, over here you can also get some sizes for normal art. We have web, in case we are designing for web application or a website, then you can just choose any of the sizes you want and then you work on it. If you're also designing on a mobile, you can choose for the mobile sizes. And then if you're designing for a film or a video, sizes are also available over here, but we'll be using print. In case your sizes are not over here, maybe you want to customize your own size, you get it, because maybe you want to work on something which is very big and then it wasn't provided over here. We have an option at my film right, you get it on the same pop-up, which gives you the width and then the height. So you select the sizes you want to be working on. For example, I want to be working on something like 6 by 6 feet. We all know 1 feet is 12 inches, right? So if you want 6 feet, it is just 12 by 6, which is 72, right? So 72 inches, right? And then the height should be 72 inches as well. You get it? And then we can also customize our resolution. The resolution has to do with the sharpness of our artwork, right? So a higher resolution gives a higher sharpness and then it gives a good impression, but lower resolution does the opposite. So since we want to give a good impression, we are just going to leave it at 300. 300 is the best, right? It is the industry standard. So you just pick 300. This place didn't work for 22. Then you can also change the name of the artwork you are working on. For example, I want to work on let's say Baba design, right? So background design. Just customize it over here, then you just go on create. So once the canvas is provided for us, I mean it has been created, we have to explore our menu bar quickly, right? So the first on our left is the file, which helps us to save our canvas. This is the most common thing we use it for. It is also used to create a new blank document, and then it is also used to open. Get it? So as beginners, this is the most important thing. You just have to know about the file. And then if you want to save, let's say sometimes moving to the file, browsing through the options, make it so Kimbasamuki. it is just Control S to save, Control N for new. So if you just hover on it, open it and hover on it, there are some shortcuts over here. These shortcuts, if you try to get acquainted with it, you can just be working so efficiently, right? And then we also have the edit. What is the edit used for? It is used to edit the whole of the Canva. So for example, it is used to undo, it is used to redo, it is used to check our spelling, fill, and then wrap, and then all those stuff, right? If you come to the image, this is one of the most important thing, right? So what does the image actually do? The image is used for the adjustment of our layers, right? And then the Canva as well. So if you want to change the adjustment, maybe if you want to change the contrast, if you want to rotate the whole of the artwork, and then if you want to trim, duplicate, just use the image for it. And then we also have the layers. This is one of the most important options over here, the menu bar. Since the layers is the most important tool in the Photoshop, then it should also be most important. It helps you to adjust your layers, right? So if you want to create a new layer, if you want to fill a layer, mask it, duplicate a layer, this is what you should be doing. Then I can't just be browsing through it one by one, get it, but they are so simple. If you forgot anything about it, for example, you are searching for something and then you can't recall exactly where it is, since you are beginners, it's not a problem. Just move to the help option, right? If you move to the help option, it will just help you to find any of the file or any of the tools you want to use as in the menu bar, you get it. So just be using the help option. It is one of the most important things, because in most of the cases we tend to forget, right? Let's talk about the control or the option menu, right? The control, the option bar, it changes the moment the tools you are using changes, right? For example, I am on the move to cover it very soon, so the options over here are different. So the moment I select the text tool, as you can see, the options here are different again, you get it. So the options here are just helping us to edit in respect to our tools, right? Let me just change to an eraser, right? So if I change to an eraser, this is what happens. Eraser, just press E. So the moment I change to eraser, the option tools also change. For example, we have the opacity of the eraser, we have the flow, we have the smoothing, and then all those stuff. So the moment I change my tool, the options has to change, you get it, to suit the tool I am using. That is all about the options or the control tab over here, you get it. Now let me just move to our tools. These are on our extreme left, okay? So this is all what our tools are. With our tools, we have the move tool, we have the mark, we have the laser tool. So this is our move tool. It is just used to move around the Canva, right? Great. If I hover on it, Photoshop just shows me how it works. And we also have the mark tool. It is used for selection. There are some complex selections, for example, in the form of a circle, in the form of a rectangle. The mark tool just help us to select it easily, right? That is as simple as that. And then we have the laser tool, which is used for complex selections. There are some selections which can't just be done in a straight way, so the laser tool just helps in those selection. For example, you get it, there is an irregular object, the laser tool will just be used for the selection of those irregular objects, right? So this is how it works. This is just an introductory class, so in the upcoming sessions we will just be talking about how to use all these tools step by step, okay? So don't worry about it so much. We also have the magic wand tool, we have the crop tool, and then all those stuff. So the tools are just here, they help us to work on our Canva, right? So that is just all. Then there are a lot of shortcuts too, don't worry about it that much, since this is just to explore the interface. The other session will just be much detailed. This is the Canva itself, so that is where I am right now. This is the Canva itself, okay? So this is where the actual work is done, and then it is done in support with the layers tab, right? So if I want to position anything, I do it right on the Canva. Let me just draw a shape on it, so the shape is over here. I can just position it on the Canva. But as in checking for the ranking of it, I'm talking about the layers. Okay, then it has to be done on the layers. But with the Canva itself, it just help us to position our images, our text, the way which we just suit us, right? Now let's talk about the most important, the layers. We are not going to match details, but we are just trying to talk about how it looks, right? So these are everything in Photoshop. So the layers we're just supposed to arrange our items in ascending or descending order. So the more the item is above the other, then it means it is more visible on the Canva, right? This is what I can say about the layers in the introductory class. There's more to it. If you can't find your layers, you just have to press your F7 key. That's the shortcut. If your F7 key is not working, then you just have to come to the Windows menu, and then you just select layers, right? And then the layers pop up. If you're using a laptop, try to use the function, okay? That just helps to make things easier, because without the function key, it isn't working. Great. So now let's also talk about the customization of our window. I've seen quite some people who don't like the customization of it at all. For example, others will want their tools to be at the right side instead of the left side, so you can just hold on the tools, right? There is a representation over here which is like a dot. Just hold it and drag it and just position it at all you just feel like. Same applies to the layers, right? So with the layers too, I can actually do same. It's so cool. You just have to customize it the way you feel like using it, okay? So this are it, and then I'm just customizing it the way I think to be better for me. They are so cool, right? So this is the customization, and then I can also bring my layers over here, but that does not make it so difficult for you to work with it. If you feel it this way, then it's fine. For me, I've been working with the default settings so much, and then I always want to do it the default way, so that is what I just prefer. That's it. So my layers on my right, and then my tools on my left. In the next video, we'll be exploring about the details about our tools and then our layers, which will just help us to understand the basics, and then we just move into the advanced, right? We are moving in a step by step. Okay, so if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and then subscribe to the channel, so that whenever I upload subsequent videos, you are going to get notified about it. Okay, so until we meet again, then it is a goodbye.